Do you know what this paper is, YouTube? This paper basically is a complaint from someone saying that my grass is too long, and apparently it is city code that I cannot have my grass longer than 6 inches, otherwise it will cost me $114 plus whatever the contractor charges, and failure to make a timely payment could result in a lien on my property. So that's neat. Today I learned, and this was actually signed. This wasn't like a copy paste letter. Like that's like legit ink. This dude like hand wrote it. Like he must be really bored. Today's video is going to be me interviewing my boss. My boss put her 2 weeks in, 2 weeks ago, and on her last day I finally caught her. I've been asking her if I could interview her for a long time, and every time I come in she'd be like, "Oh, I'm busy, not now. Oh, I'm busy, not now." And so I went and bought her a box of a mailbox full of chocolate for her last day, and it worked. So she finally agreed to do the interview, and that's what this video is. Let me give you a little bit of background about her. Basically, she is she's an artist. She does hand lettering and stuff like that. You can check out her hand lettering on her Instagram. She didn't tell me to plug that or anything, so if you guys do look at her Instagram and start creeping, I'm sorry about that, Jenny. Please don't be mad. Also, she is basically she does acrobatics. So, you know, people standing on other people's hands and like walking around and stuff. That's what she does. Or the dirty dancing move where you run and I even did that. She got me to sign up for it, and I did it for a while. And I learned a bunch of cool stuff. When I first got hired there, I thought that like she had bigger, she's gonna beat me up. Like she had bigger muscles than I did, and I was pretty intimidated. But then I met her in person, and she's short, but she's spicy, right? I would classify her in the spicy category of people, of humans. And she was super fun to work with, but she put her 2 weeks in, and she has moved on. She has been doing graphic design for 20 years, as she says in the video, and she's really good at what she does. Basically, she was brought on to redo an entire application, and then I was brought on to implement that, and that's how we met. And one tip I just like to give is if your boss leaves for whatever reason, if you leave your company and it's on good terms, try to get a recommendation letter. I always ask every single one of my bosses for a recommendation letter, and I mean, I can't say for sure, but I'm sure. I can't say for sure, but I'm sure. I'm hoping that they have looked at it and that has helped their decision. So without further ado, this is the interview with my boss. I'm not going to do an outro for this video. What you see is what you get. So be sure to check out the Discord. Link for the Discord's in the description. Come ask us questions. I look forward to all your creepy comments in the comments section. If you want to see more videos like this, hit that little subscribe button, and I'll see you in the next video. I don't know.
How's it going?
I thought you were going to say no again. I thought you were going to be like, I'm out.
You brought me a box of giant mailbox full of chocolate and candy.
That wasn't the reason. Who are you? What are you doing?
Hi. My name is Jenny. I am the director of user experience design. I have been a graphic designer for 20 years, literally 20 years.
What do you look for when you're hiring?
Personality. The personality has to mesh. You have to be able to like actually talk to and work with that person every day. It is number one. Obviously, they have to be able to do the job, just basic qualifications, but I think the culture fit is number one. Mm-hmm. So the only way to tell in a stack of resumes that you get from all over the world is a cover letter. So your cover letter showed that you actually read the job description, kind of looked into what we were looking for, and showed some personality.
Why did you hire me?
Because you came to first of all, you had a good cover letter, and you came to the interview curious. So you were like, show me the software. Okay, inspect it. Show me this. Okay, I would do this, 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 and this. You already were engaged with our platform in the interview. That was like the biggest thing.
Did what I asked for, was that reasonable?
Like salary-wise? Yeah, it was pretty much right in line with what we had in mind.
Now for your job, what would you start at?
I mean, depends on where you live. I would say for graphic designers that are kind of transitioning into UX UI, I've seen it anywhere from 50 to 75. For senior UX designers, at least where we live, it's anywhere from like 75 to 105. I mean, it ranges a lot depending on the type of company, the budget, the level of skills,
What about like...
It ranges a lot.
How do you get your first job? That's a problem.
How do you get your first job? So for UX UI design, and I think it's the same for development, you have to show that you know what you're doing. And so you can't, it's the chicken and egg thing. You can't like show work if you don't have clients. You can't get clients if you don't show work. So redesign or redevelop something, create your own projects. Like get an app that you already use a lot, and as a UX designer, rethink it. Draw out some new ideas, draw out like some theories and some user test ideas, and just draw out a new theory. Create some wireframes with a new design, create a new design, and then that's your project. Like build your own projects.
How many did you learn? 'Cause you didn't go to school for it.
I did not go to school for it. Well, I did. I went to the University of Utah, and I got accepted into the graphic design program in the late 90s. And I got about halfway through that program before they made me choose having a day job and going to school. They wouldn't offer any sort of night classes, no at-home classes. This was before they were very flexible with that kind of thing. I had to make a living, so.
Was it just like 9 to 5 classes?
Yeah,
oh, okay.
yeah. And I already had a design job that was kind of postgraduate level anyway. And so, especially with design and I think with development, experience equals a degree. The way I learned was fiddling around in Photoshop on my parents' computer when I was little. I've just always been curious and want to know Photoshop? Okay, I'm going to download Photoshop and I'm going to sit and mess with it until I get it. And I'm going to search for things I don't know. I mean, you have to kind of teach yourself the software. And so since I was able to do that and then do a lot of research onto kind of aesthetic and what people were doing, basically if you're invested and you're interested in the subject and you're looking at what other people are doing and you're learning the software on your own, it's not that hard to teach yourself and get yourself at least started. And then you can kind of give yourself some projects and build a portfolio that way.
What would happen if I went on like LinkedIn and I found that you were working there and I messaged you and I told you I was interested in the job?
That's great.
Would that have creeped you out and
No.
been annoying, or would that have
No, I think getting on LinkedIn and finding people who you might already know that work there is always, you have no idea. You might have a Facebook friend that randomly works at the place you're applying and you're like, oh my gosh, I didn't know. You can ask them for a referral, but also read the job description. If it says who your hiring manager is, connect with that person on LinkedIn, write them a cover letter right in their inbox. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. Yeah, the thing is I think it's good. A lot of times in the tech field, it's a recruiter. It's a technical recruiter, so they're used to it. So you gotta just show personality. If it's not a recruiter and it's not someone whose name was on the listing and you had to kind of do some sleuthing, just have a personality. Be like, hey, I'm just reaching out because I'm really interested in your company. Do some research, come educated. Be like, I really like how you did this, this, or this. I mean, what would speak to you if it was you? Send that kind of message. Don't be generic, don't be boring.
All right, what are the tools that you use and why?
For UX design?
Yeah, for everything.
I prefer, Adobe
Obviously
Creative
you're
Cloud.
Mac.
Obviously I'm a Mac, but either is fine, as long as it's fast.
So you would go to Sketch?
I would go to Sketch. So I use Bohemian Coding, or it's not Bohemian Coding, it's just Bohemian Sketch, whatever, Sketch. And I know that Adobe has XD, and I've messed with it a little bit. It's not quite as powerful as Sketch is right now, but if you're on Windows, you could use XD. Another one that people are using from Windows is called Figma, which is kind of cool. I don't think it's quite as powerful as Sketch. Sketch is definitely like the boss in UX design. For prototyping, InVision and Marvel and Sketch now has prototyping abilities. For wireframing, I personally just like to sketch it out on my iPad. A lot of people just stick with pen and paper. There is some software called Axure that I've never used that some people
Balsamic.
like. Yeah, there's always Balsamic.
Yeah.
That's always fine too. But I prefer just hand drawing it out. It's just the artist in me, I suppose.
If you were you, like 10 years ago, what would you want to know? Like, that's
You're
what
never
I'm kind of
stuck.
about.
You're never stuck. Because a lot of times you get in a job that you're grateful for and you're like, this pays good, I like it.
Yeah.
And so you kind of get afraid that like you got lucky and that you're stuck there and you stay there longer than is comfortable. If you ever feel stagnant or that you're not making forward progress, or if you stop making forward progress and you're getting away with it for years, then maybe you're not loving what you're doing as a career, or maybe you're just, that's another thing I would tell myself 10 years ago is keep your wireframes, keep your sketches, keep your train of thought, like file it somewhere, get it digital so you have it to refer back to, because one day you're going to want it when you build a portfolio. But what was I saying?
I don't know. That's how a lot of our conversations end.
Yeah.
Okay. Good.
Bye.
That's it. You.
Yes.